Today we're looking at Sinutrain for Sinumerik Operate controllers. If you notice, this is a software directly installed onto your laptop or your desktop or whatever is a Windows executable. And right now we're kind of looking at the menu of all the machines that you would have in availability for kind of playing around with, whether it's for education purposes or testing out different programs or interface, or maybe you're customizing something that's unique to the machine. You can create these new machines off of a variety of templates. So if I just click on this new template, for example, you can see we have a couple of varieties of different controllers that we can build. If I was to cancel this out, we can also use an import machine. So if I was to create any of these machines on a different Sinutrain platform, for example, I can transfer that over as a .set file and then import it into the screen. And then lastly here, we can read a setup archive. And this requires an additional license to use, but if I had one, you could import a specific archive from a machine on the shop floor. So let's say, for example, you have a machine that you are utilizing for programming or training an operator to kind of be familiar with the user interface. Maybe you have a program you want to run and test if it's going to collide, or maybe there's some type of irregularities. But you're going to have that one-to-one capability of whatever you do on the virtual setting on your laptop will correlate to what is occurring out on the shop floor. So let's dive right in. I'm going to select one of my existing machines, and by clicking on this play button, we can then start up the machine. And here we're going to notice immediately that you can see kind of the hard keys of a Sinumerik controller, as well as the virtual HMI of what the Sinumerik controller looks like. And you have full mouse and keyboard support, so everything you can do on that controller you can do here in this virtual setting. I can go to the machine, parameters, programs, program manager, etc. I can integrate my program manager to a server, for example, if I want to have access to the latest programs that are being run on the shop floor. You can maybe pull that from the server into Sinutrain and then run the programs in a simulated environment here. But yeah, I mean, it's the virtual representation of a Sinumerik controller. So we can change the feed override and spindle override, for example, turn these on. Let's see if I have a program I can run here. So let's do this example, execute. We're in automatic mode, we're all set up. I'll drop the feed override, or I'll increase it, I guess, to whatever we want. And you can just start and it runs through a program simulation. We can also play around with this a little bit. So let's see if we can do some simulation, for example, in a 3D view. Let's see what this looks like. So yeah, it's everything you would do on a real life controller. You're now interacting in a virtual environment. And this one we have it time lapse. So if you notice it cut through super quickly. And the idea here is you obviously don't want to watch your entire process being machined if this is like an 8-hour part, but you can kind of play around with the time sequence if you want to have a 1-to-1 ratio, or if you're just running through a programming scenario that you want to check if there's any collision avoidance, any alarms that might occur before you actually bring it down to the shop floor. Because the program on the machine could be actively running anytime your machine is not running, it's not producing parts, it's not making money. But having the ability to do this in a virtual environment prior to going down the shop floor can save you tons of time, tons of effort, and tons of troubleshooting if anything was to go wrong out there. We also have simple program editors, program management. Let's see if I was to go to program editor and I was to create a new one, for example. You'll notice we have our main program and subprogram, but we also have the shop mill programs that I can do here. So if I did test, for example, on a shop mill program, I have the ability to then program directly from the HMI of this controller in a virtual setting. So this would be great for new operators that might want to be learning, how to program some basic machines. We have our drilling, milling, and really this is all conversational language. So if you want to have different scenarios, different things to edit, it's all being displayed in the interface here. But yeah, I hope to do more of these in the future. I think Sinutrain is a very powerful tool that would allow you to kind of really play around with the settings and just from like an education perspective, learning how to interface and interact with a controller can be just super beneficial, especially from new operators to old ones that aren't familiar with maybe a new program or a new tool, and you just kind of want to test it out before you bring it down to the shop floor. Um, but yeah, I'll be showing some more of these in the future and kind of how it integrates to other things. But I appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed the video and the short introduction of Sinutrain.